In other news, a massive cannabis racket has been busted. Directorate of Revenue Intelligence has nabbed 15,000 kilograms of cannabis worth more than 9 crore rupees. This is a huge confiscation. Consignment here, which was being taken in a truck from Odisha to Chhattisgarh, now have been arrested. Our correspondent Herman getting us further inputs here on this, given that this is a huge consignment that has now been confiscated. How many people should we be looking at involved in this, with just 4 people arrested so far?
Well, that's right. As far as the current information is concerned, it's very limited to only these people. But the lot could be far more bigger, considering that it's not just a single state that is being singled out, but rather it's a interstate racket that is believed, because the consignment that was being taken was in fact camouflaged by coconuts, and the entire truck was moving from Odisha towards Chhattisgarh, where it was intercepted by the DRI unit of Mumbai. And you can see the kind of the visuals clearly there speaking for themselves. What is rather believed is that this cannabis was being grown in the red corridors, and that being supplied for commercial purposes, and after that was sold, the illegal revenue that was earned was expected to be used back by the Maoist links to ensure that arms and ammunitions and other daily ration is used. The money from this that is generated was being used by Maoists, is what is believed according to sources. But clearly it is this large consignment bust, a massive win if one considers, at least for the DRI unit of Mumbai. Far more people could be involved considering this amount. And also at the same time, what we're also being told is that this in fact is not just grown in the deep jungles where there are strongholds of Maoists, but rather it is also at multiple such forest locations across various such red corridors from where it is grown, and then it is transported towards various states. But clearly in this case, one can see the 15,000 kilograms of what was seized, and to ensure that the cops do not bust them, the DRI unit, I beg your pardon, the coconuts were used to cover the entire. So this is just first of the many, is what sources have been telling us, and this could lead to in fact to a far more bigger racket in the next coming days. One has to, and also at the same time, there's a father-son duo who are believed to be Naxal sympathizers who were carrying out this trade in the guise of them being simple laymen. But for now, as you can see clearly those visuals there, this could lead to in fact a far more bigger racket. Back to you.
That's right, Herman. And what you're saying here, this is also with respect to an interstate racket. In earlier such rackets that have been busted here as well. What are the authorities indicating? Could this be directly in connection to earlier established rackets?
Well, for now, there is from gathering based on the evidence that they have. One is from the people that they have so far arrested, and based on current evidence, they are right now in the process of ensuring a timeline of events is based to ensure that a frame of events right from the previous seizures to until now, to try and ensure if they can put up a timeline of events to see if there is any link to the previous seizures with this current one. But for now, this is one of the biggest and a big win coming in for the DRI unit of Mumbai. But it remains to be seen in the coming days whether or not further more skeletons could be tumbling out, considering that this has just been one of the many such catches for the DRI. But yes, what the key point here is where it has been grown, and secondly, what was the use of it once it has been sold in the black market. So that is currently needs to be established for the DRI.
All right, Herman, we're also going to try to get in further reactions here on this. But given that the amount and the value of this amount that we're looking at in this Mirror Now exclusive that we're talking about, in which we have 15,000 kilograms of cannabis there that has been this racket that has been busted, value of 9 crore rupees, and the way it was being transported, hidden by a layer of coconuts. It was nevertheless, the truck was stopped and nabbed, and our correspondent Herman has been sending us these exclusive inputs in this massive racket here that has been busted. The authorities are still investigating with establishing the interstate racket. But Herman, one point that you mentioned more importantly, given that this was coming in from a location which is known to have a Naxal territory, to what extent can we establish connections with Naxal operations to this drug racket?
Well, what has been found is that the father-son duo here particularly have also been previously arrested in such a case in way back in 2015, I believe. That is what has led them to believe that they have been, in fact, Naxal sympathizers who were cultivating cannabis in the strong areas. Do remember, these are areas, the thick forest there, where it becomes extremely difficult for investigating agencies, and these therefore remain as the strongholds of Maoists as well as Naxal violence that one has been seeing, and particularly along the entire red corridor adjoining Chhattisgarh and Odisha. And for now, what was believed that after the cultivation, once it was clearly packed in multiple packets in huge consignments there, the entire truck was completely covered with coconuts, and then it was moving. And the fact of the matter is, it has already, the fact that it was intercepted in the next state and not from the state where it came from, which is Odisha, shows that there has been certain softening as far as concerning the checks that remain along the way, because it has moved from Odisha, goes up till Chhattisgarh, which is where it was intercepted by the DRI. But along the way, at least when Odisha is concerned, no checks were found because clearly they managed to move away. How many such trucks move daily or on a monthly basis? That is something that the investigating agencies is looking. But one does know that what is believed accordingly to them is that once this is sold, the money is got back by the Naxal sympathizers to the Naxals in these areas, A, to procure arms and ammunition, and secondly, what is believed for their monthly or day-to-day expenses. And this is the money that comes from the sale of the cannabis that has been banned, in fact, by the NDPS Act.
All right, Herman, many thanks for getting us those inputs here on more horrifying details with respect to ongoing investigations to the Naxal connection here to this drug racket. With that, we are